There's something else you said that makes the Scientology discussion so unique in that the Scientology experience of someone who never does the OT levels
Mhm.
is almost 100% different from the Scientology experience of those who do. Because,
Mm.
like you, am someone who never did the OT levels, right?
Yeah.
And it's easy for you and I to go, the Xenu and the body thetans and everything, that's not really day to day Scientology because for us, it wasn't.
Mhm.
But if we had done the OT levels and we had known that what it means to do the bridge in Scientology, what it means to go free, these words that Scientologists use, go OT, go free, to us, Scientology would become what Scientology is at the top of the bridge,
Mhm.
which is, well, we could say Xenu, but what it really means is what the Xenu story means, what L. Ron Hubbard says the Xenu story means for everyone on Earth.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
doing Scientology and going up the bridge does, in fact, become resolving what happened in the Xenu story.
Yeah.
And so when I hear someone, Grant Cardone, for example, in interviews, when someone tries to ask him about Xenu and the body thetans and trillions of years ago, he goes, hey, I'm not worried about trillions of years ago. I'm worried about yesterday and today and paying my bills and taking care of my family. And I go, yeah, but the truth is, Scientologists who are OT, they are worried about trillions of years ago and
Mhm.
Xenu. And the reason they want you to get into Scientology is so that you can address what happened billions of years ago and trillions of years ago and the Xenu story. Like, I hope this is making sense in that
Mhm.
it's unlike, like, if we compare this to Christianity, the major religions of the world, if you were to capture what is the essence of them, their essence of them is the most important part of them.
So, mhm.
God and Jesus and salvation is the most important part of Christianity. And so if you look at Scientology the same way, the Xenu story is the most important part, is the essence of Scientology. But Scientology is one of the only groups who will pretend, no, don't think about that. It's about communication. It's about family relationships. It's about getting work done better. You're like, wait a second. Why do you keep minimizing what Scientology is supposed to be? And it's
Mhm.
because if you tell them what it's really supposed to be, nobody would fucking walk in the door.
No, nobody, nobody would. And when people find out, they leave too, right? Because they can find out on Google. You can
Yeah,
Google
yeah.
Xenu. You can find L. Ron Hubbard's writings in his handwriting, and then most people just say, "You believe in this crap," and they don't. They don't come back. I mean, I was a staff member for a year. Plenty of people don't come back after their first opportunity to come to a church. So, but yeah, the
Yeah.
minimization, I think, is just maybe for ridicule and satire purposes. It makes it easier, which I guess is in some cases okay. I don't know. Like, it's really
Do you
bizarre.
mean do you
I
mean
don't know.
minimizing it down to Xenu or minimizing it down to communication?
Xenu, the Xenu stuff is easier. I mean, I love South Park, and the South Park episode, besides one or two things that were not accurate, like registering to become an 027, it was pretty brilliant. And there's been tons of different, I mean, we can talk about all the different documentaries and stuff, satirical stuff. The Louis Theroux one, I also love. But, I guess it's because once it came out to the public, it is a bit easier to satirize, and it's a little bit easier to make fun of. And of course, religious satire with Monty Python and all these just wonderful comedians do kind of reduce these complex things down to something very small and to ridicule it. But why Scientologists don't acknowledge it is, I come to the same conclusion. It's because if people knew, they would leave. I mean, that to me
Yeah.
is the Occam's razor. It's the simplest explanation, is the correct one. It's not because Scientology somehow works, but they're trying to keep a part of it hidden because people that aren't ready. It's not about that. It's about the fact that if people knew that that was the story, that that's where you were going to, and you had to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get to that level, you would leave. That's why
Yeah.
it is. To me, there's no other answer. There's no other pragmatic answer than it just sounds really ridiculous. They can't reconcile the fact that it sounds ridiculous. When you accept that you have to have that number of training to get there, to put it in your head that that's real, and then they can tell you. But
Yeah.
that's it. It's just it's a facade.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, oh, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.